Once my wife announced her pregnancy, I filed for divorce. I was the bad guy to family, but explaining the divorce changed perceptions. I'm 32M and never thought I'd be writing to strangers online. Felicia, 30F, my wife, surprised me 2 days earlier. A pregnant woman. Instead of happiness or enthusiasm, I felt confused and hurt. My life is falling apart after I filed for divorce. Felicia and I married 5 years ago. We met while helping at an animal shelter in our sophomore year of college. I was immediately captivated to her kindness and charming laugh. We dated soon after and were inseparable in college. After graduation, we got decent jobs in the same city and chose to grow our relationship. Our wedding was small and personal, with our closest loved ones. We honeymooned in Hawaii for 2 beautiful weeks, visiting the islands and planning our future. We spoke about having kids, but we decided to wait until we were more established professionally, present day. I'm a software programmer at a growing tech company, and Felicia is an international marketing executive. 2 years ago, we acquired a lovely suburban house with a white picket fence and a large backyard for future kids to play. From the outside, our life was ideal. Felicia told me she was pregnant while I worked from home. I was coding feverishly in my home office for a large project deadline. Felicia arrived at midday, beaming. She held a pregnancy test and stated, "Honey, we're having kids." It felt like the room spun. I felt my heart beating and blood pouring in my ears. I must have appeared astonished because Felicia's smile suddenly faded. I couldn't answer her question if I was okay. I couldn't join her enthusiasm. I said I needed time to ponder the news and left. My response confused and hurt Felicia. Her questions about why I didn't want the baby, or whether there was someone else, were unanswerable. I just needed time alone. The next 2 days were hazy, with little sleep or food. My mind raced to make sense of it. Felicia tried to talk to me multiple times, but I ignored her. I saw her hurt and perplexity in her eyes, but I couldn't articulate my feelings. My decision yesterday changed our lives forever. I filed divorce at a lawyer's office. Felicia collapsed when I informed her at home. She couldn't understand my motives. I couldn't explain or reconsider, despite her pleas. Convinced myself to tell her. Felicia's family is unhappy with me. Her parents have been phoning incessantly, leaving angry, disbelieving voicemails. They call me callous for leaving my pregnant wife and a coward for avoiding fatherhood. Her sister texted me a detailed list of how I damaged Felicia and wrecked our family. Our family is perplexed and upset. Mom keeps phoning, questioning if I'm having a mental breakdown or have another woman. My normally stern dad cried over the phone, stating he didn't raise me to forsake his family. My younger sister, who's always admired me, won't talk to me. The majority of our mutual friends favor Felicia, which I understand. They blame me for wasting a great life and injuring a pregnant woman. My best pal Tom, who knows us from college, is furious with me. He labeled me a coward and couldn't believe I'd hurt Felicia. He said he's embarrassed to be my friend. I probably sound like the worst person ever. I want to tell you everything, but I'm not ready. I have a rationale for my acts, but I don't know how to tell everyone without hurting them. Felicia and I haven't been intimate in 3 months. Both of us are anxious at work. We've also had personal troubles. I thought it was simply a hard patch, but now I'm wondering if there's more. Her pregnancy timing doesn't make sense, but I don't want to accuse her without proof. I feel lost and alone. I can't talk to relatives or friends because they believe I'm awful. Can't blame them. They think I'm abandoning my wife when she needs me. This narrative has far more to it than they know. Fatherhood has always been my dream. Felicia knows. Years ago, we discussed having kids. I began a college fund for our future kids last year. Thus, my reaction shocks everyone. They don't understand why I'm not excited about fatherhood. Felicia's eyes showing pain is hardest. She wonders what she done wrong and why I don't want our baby. I hate that I'm destroying her world. I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Work colleague is hosting me for now. I hated being in Felicia's house and seeing her cry and plead for answers I couldn't offer. Not knowing the complete tale, my colleague has been kind enough to tell me. A place to stay without many questions. Every phone call makes me anxious. Are Felicia's folks calling to shout at me again? Perhaps my mother is wondering why her kid is acting like a monster. Or Tom, ready to chastise me for being a bad friend and husband? I must confess shortly. As I delay, everyone will suffer. But how do I explain? How can I tell my girlfriend I don't think this child is mine? How can I explain to my family and friends why I'm doing this? I'm not seeking pity. I realize my behaviors are nasty and selfish. I needed to vent before exploding. Anyone with experience or advice on how to resolve this problem would be appreciated. Am I a jerk for divorcing instead of enjoying my wife's pregnancy? Update 1. A week has passed since my last post, and things have become worse. I appreciate everyone who commented and sent messages, including those who called me every name in the book. You were right, I needed to explain my reaction. I faced the music after days of ignoring everyone's calls and messages. Felicia didn't see me when I wanted to communicate privately. Her brother was at our place when I arrived. He made me feel unwelcome. They said Felicia was too distraught to talk to me, and I should feel ashamed. I left without arguing, knowing I had to find a solution. I met with our family since I couldn't talk to Felicia. I invited Felicia's parents, my parents, and a few close friends, including Tom, to my parents' house. I felt having everyone together would make explaining everything easier. Given the circumstances, Felicia's absence was understandable. When everyone arrived, tension was high. Cut the tension with a knife. Felicia's dad demanded to know my problem. I could tell he was angry by his crimson face and wanting to hit me. My mom wept, asking me why I was ending my marriage. She insisted she raised me better and that this wasn't her son. Tom looked at me from across the room, arms folded and jaw gritted. Inhaled deeply. To soothe my anxiety, I said, because I suspected Felicia was unfaithful, I filed for divorce. Chaos broke out in the room. Felicia's mother screamed liar in disbelief and wrath. My usually calm dad inquired if I had proof, his voice tense with disappointment. That was explained. Felicia and I hadn't been sexual in months, so the pregnancy timing didn't work. I also indicated that our marriage had some challenges, but nothing I thought was insurmountable. I mentioned Felicia's growing distance, late work, and lack of enthusiasm in spending time with me. To defend Felicia, Tom called me neurotic and accused me of fabricating excuses. He said Felicia would never cheat on me and I was simply trying to avoid fatherhood. His words sting, especially from my longtime best pal. My optimist mom thought the dates were wrong, or it was a miracle pregnancy. She implored me to talk to Felicia and work things out, stating that couples go through tough patches and running away wasn't the answer. After being quiet, Felicia's dad inquired whether I had any further grounds to suspect her of cheating. I hesitated to accuse without proof, but I was honest. I told them Felicia was acting more secretively with her phone lately, usually putting it face down and taking calls in another room. She'd stopped telling me about her day over dinner, which she used to do every night. I knew I should have spoken Felicia about my worries sooner, but I was frightened of what I may find. The room separated. Some, including Tom and Felicia's family, insisted I was mistaken and Felicia would never cheat. They accused me of overreacting and imagining. Some, like my sister, gently indicated there was more to the story. She advised us not to judge without Felicia's perspective. As we talked, more details emerged. Tom said that he and Felicia were working on a large project, hence the late nights. He stated they kept quiet because it surprised the corporation. Not because they hid anything evil. Felicia's mom said she was insecure about our connection, which may explain the lack of affection. She stated Felicia told her she felt ignored and uncertain about our future. After the meeting, no one knew what to think. Felicia's parents were upset but less sure of her innocence. My parents were split between supporting me and reconciling. They insisted there was a solution. Divorce should be final resort. Tom became quieter, defending Felicia less but still seeming displeased. Tom lingered behind after everyone went. He inquired if I thought Felicia cheated. When I replied yes, he seemed worried. He said Felicia had been acting unusually lately, but attributed it to work stress. He said he would talk to her and find out what happened because we were friends. The following days were hazy. I wanted to believe this was all a misunderstanding and that everything would be explained simply. Another part of me sensed something was extremely wrong. I kept thinking I was missing something important. I finally got Felicia to meet me yesterday. A peaceful bistro near our home hosted our meeting. My heart ached as she looked exhausted and unhappy with black circles under her eyes and pallor. I'd never seen her gaze that intense, with a hint of wrath. She asked me why I suspected cheating. I stated my reasons: the pregnancy date, her behavior changes, our distance. Her expression was calm as she listened. She then asked whether I had any other reasons to doubt her. First I hesitated, then I was honest. I revealed something I had hidden, making the pregnancy impossible if I was the father. Her pallid expression made me think she was confessing. My confusion increased as she stood up and went without saying a word, leaving me alone in the cafe. Now I'm lost. Felicia's reply supports my infidelity theory, but I don't have proof. Some of our family and friends support me, while others back Felicia. Unspoken accusations and anxiety permeate the air. The divorce is underway, but it's uncertain. Not wanting to return home, I'm staying with my coworker. This house, once our future, now smells of mistrust and betrayal. Felicia's family no longer yells at me, but the stillness is worse. It feels like pre-storm calm. I need to tell everyone the truth shortly, but I'm frightened of the consequences. Will it clarify or worsen things? Will I lose everyone I care about if they discover my secret? I'm lost and need direction. How do I handle my mess? How do I discover the truth without destroying everything and everyone? Update 2: Everything has come to light after a month. The truth hurts more than I expected. I thank everyone who supported and advised me, including my tough critics. Your kind and critical words gave me the strength to tell the truth. After weeks of insomnia and debating what to do, I decided to tell everyone the whole tale. I called another meeting with our family and close friends, including Tom. Felicia came, this time. I could feel the tension as everyone arrived at my parents' place. Sitting on opposite sides of the room, people rarely looked at each other. With me in the defendant's chair, it seemed like court. I apologized for being dishonest from the start. I said that I was terrified and bewildered and handled the situation poorly. I breathed deeply and dropped the bombshell. I told them I'd been sterile since before Felicia and I married. In shock, the room became silent. Everyone started talking at once, like a dam broke. Questions, accusations, and skepticism rained down. I raised my hands for quiet and explained. I explained how I discovered my illness after college. Routine medical checks showed irregularities and further tests verified I couldn't father children. I hid my grief from everyone, including Felicia. I was ashamed and frightened of being judged, that no one would want to be with me if they knew. I saw everyone's realization as I talked. Felicia's pregnancy could only mean one thing if I couldn't parent. Felicia, who was pale and stared at the floor with her hands clenched, caught everyone's attention. Felicia's mother spoke first. She asked Felicia, shaking, if she had been unfaithful. Felicia was silent for a while. The room's stillness was deafening. To everyone's surprise, she cried and nodded. The room went crazy. Felicia's parents were shocked. My family was furious and our friends shocked. People shouted, cried, and demanded answers. Tom was walking toward the entrance, his face a mask of remorse and panic among the chaos. I called out to Tom for comment. He froze and everything clicked. Now he understood the late nights working together, the hidden behavior, and his impassioned defense of Felicia. The room was silent again, as everyone looked at Tom. Felicia confirmed everyone's thoughts through tears. She admits to cheating with Tom for a year. She stated it started as a drunken mistake after work and persisted. Because they both felt lonely and misunderstood. Felicia explained that she had grown to dislike me for not wanting children, not knowing why. She said her encounter with Tom filled a gap. She saw her pregnancy as a chance to start her dream family. She thought it might be mine, or that I'd be so delighted being a father that I wouldn't question it. The news shook everyone. Mom and Dad were upset, feeling deceived by Felicia and Tom, who was like a son to them. My mom, who had always treated Tom like a child, was disgusted and heartbroken. My typically calm dad left the room to calm down. Felicia's parents were shocked, outraged at her behavior but worried about her future. Her mother kept wondering how she could abandon her husband for an affair. She saw her dad sitting with his head in his hands, despondent. Our other companions looked sick, understanding they had unintentionally participated in the deceit. Some believed Felicia and Tom's excuses about late nights at work or project meetings and covered for them. Tom apologized, claiming he never intended this to happen. He said he loved Felicia and their feelings were true. But his words were ignored. I informed him our friendship was ended since he betrayed me and everyone in the room. He left the house shamefully after one final begging look at Felicia. Felicia tried to explain between sobs. She discussed feeling abandoned in our marriage, the affair's thrill, and her desire to have a child. She said she would break up with Tom and raise the baby with me, believing I would never know. I listened to her reasons, feeling angry, insulted, and curiously relieved. At least I knew the truth. My secret was gone, replaced with Felicia's betrayal. I told Felicia that I was sorry for hiding my condition, but it didn't justify her actions. I said that our marriage was finished and the divorce would continue. Things have changed in the weeks after that meeting. Felicia has not contested the divorce, which is proceeding fast. She's residing with her sister after leaving us. I heard she and Tom tried to work on their relationship, but shame and stigma were too much. Tom left town, unable to accept his deeds. Our friends split. Some have picked sides. Some have ignored the situation. Some have apologized for questioning me, but such relationships will take time to heal. Felicia's parents apologized, stating they now understand my actions. Under these conditions, they're hard to accept their daughter's behavior and their grandchild's presence. My family has been my rock while I coped with my sterility revelation. My healing is slow. Though the betrayal hurts, I'm happy to know the truth. I'm seeing a therapist to process my feelings and figure out why I hid my condition. I'm being more honest with myself and others. I also joined infertility support groups. Sharing my tale and hearing others has been healing. It's shown me that my worth isn't related to my capacity to have biological children, and that there are many methods to start a family in the future. The house Felicia and I shared is for sale. Living there, with all its memories and broken dreams, was unbearable. I want to start over somewhere new to rebuild my life. I learned a lot from this. The value of honesty, the risk of assumptions, and life's unpredictability. I've learned that even with good intentions, secrets may be terrible. I've also learned the value of loyal friends and family, who stand by you even when everything seems wrong. I'm cautiously enthusiastic about the future. Without my secret, I can be myself for the first time in years, regaining my identity outside of marriage. The person I made up. Many thanks to all who helped me through this. Kindness and understanding mean more than you know. You doubted me, and I understood. I hope this reminds you that stories frequently have more to them. For anyone in a similar circumstance, remember that the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than a lie. It may seem like the end of the world, yet there's hope. Support, honesty, and starting fresh are key. My last update on this situation. This chapter of my life must end and a new one begin. I appreciate your listening and support during this difficult journey. Let's celebrate new beginnings and hope.